I'm Professor Tony Diaz, el Librotraficante. This is Nuestra Palabra, Latinos having their say. Our visual artist of the week is Stalina Villarreal. You're also our poet of the week, which I love that. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we want to talk about the visual artwork that we're presenting along with your collection, WATCHA. This particular photograph isn't in the book, but it's inspired by the book. It was taken in Austin. It's in black and white. We're going to call it Pensamiento. We're doing a limited print run. But tell us a little bit about how you created this photograph and the contents.
Well, I took the photograph while I was walking home from work, and I do think about labor in the book. I have a paragraph about labor unions, for example, and in this case, I was just walking home from work and I saw a person contemplating sitting on a branch that was so huge that you can actually sit on it, and it was low enough to do that. And so I thought it was beautiful, so I snapped the picture, and at the time I was taking a photography class, so I got to develop it in a dark room. And so I used 35 millimeter film, and in order to develop that, you have to first use some chemicals, and during class they told you what proportions to use, and you have to shake it in a canister for a certain amount of time.
And I'm going to pause here because some folks watching this or listening to this may have no clue what you're talking about because they're used to taking pictures with their phone, putting a filter on it, and they're finished. You actually had to learn math, play with chemicals, and go in a dark room.
Yes, and in the dark room, you have to expose the negative. So the negative has the opposite of what the actual image has. In a negative, whatever is supposed to be light in the photograph is dark because it blocks the light of the machine that sheds light on the negative and onto the paper, the photographic paper. And the more that the photographic is exposed to light, it becomes darker. So that's why the white areas are blocked in the negative. And then you have to put the photographic paper through some more chemicals so that the image actually shows up, and so that it also gets fixed so that it doesn't get damaged.
So it's a lot of work.
And it's a lot of work, and then it has to dry.
So you saw this image, you captured it, you developed it literally. And how long ago did that happen?
This was 21 years ago.
In Austin, where you were studying at the university.
Yes, I was studying at UT Austin.
And you were on your road to being a visual artist. Were you taking poetry classes at that time yet?
I took one poetry class as an elective because I needed a writing intensive class, but also because I was writing poetry on my own in my journals, and also because I took a creative writing class in high school that really impacted me. I had a really great teacher, and I'm still in touch with my teacher actually. And the poetry that I wrote back then was part of what I ended up submitting for my MFA application.
That's fantastic. So this photograph informs your book, WATCHA, is also a result of that time when you were picking your major, deciding which way to go in life. But also it seems like esta idea de pensamiento is kind of profound as well, because it sounds like you too had to pause and think a lot and find time for that.
Yes, contemplation is a big part of my process as an artist, both as a writer and an artist, because I think that doing nothing is actually doing something. Doing your thinking, and the thinking is something that a lot of people don't often do, especially nowadays when it's just information, but like taking the time to sit with that information is important as well. And so that's why I really loved looking at this image of this person just contemplating.
It reminds me of Lao Tzu talking about action through non-action. And here we have two Chicanxes bringing up Lao Tzu, but that's the perfect moment for art. I really think this artwork is important too, because the book is that relationship between visual art and the literary art. So I'm so glad too that we can acknowledge you as our Poet of the Week and Visual Artist of the Week, and acknowledge both art forms, because then this too stands on its own, but also breaks form, has its own life, as is part of your approach to art, perhaps. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that's fair to say.
I love it. And I want to let folks know then that we're so happy to offer that print through Nuestra Palabra's website. Is a limited edition. And what a wonderful addition to someone's family library, community library, or underground library. And likewise, your book, WATCHA, is also available. We have signed copies. We're so happy for that. What do you think it would represent to you to walk into someone's home and see this photograph on their wall?
Well, I would be honored if that were to happen. It's a conversation between the artist and the viewer, and the artwork itself is the messenger. And I feel that by having an image in someone's home, especially one that I created, it speaks back to me in a way.
Beautiful. And we invite folks to visit our website, www.nuestrapalabra.org, and you can browse our selection of curated visual arts and literary arts, and you can support an organization that gives back to the community. You can support Latino visual artists, Latino writers, and Latino publishers, and more importantly, you can help stock public libraries, family libraries, and underground libraries.